Hi, I'm Tom Garner. We're on Bulldog Hill, and this is the 12th day of November 2025. And we are doing a My Thoughts segment. And the thought that's been bouncing around in my head to talk about this week is um, why some dogs bite hard and why others don't. And at the end of the day, most of us would like to know how we dial it in so that their dogs bite hard. So if they're taking on a hog hunt, they're able to actually deliver with the business end of their physical self. Um, as I ponder this, I'm immediately reminded of an old story that gets passed along about Earl Tudor. Uh, Earl Tudor, of course, owned the Spike dog, who was renowned to be an extremely hard-mouthed dog. And one day, a fellow fancier asked Earl, why does the Spike dog bite so hard? How is it that you own this dog that has such a tremendous mouth? And Earl thought for a moment. He says he bites hard because he wants to. Well, that might sound like just a meaningless answer, but it's not entirely meaningless. There are ways that desire are manifest in the outcome of a physical performance. Um, but that brings up a bigger category. And that bigger category is, what are the things that are relevant to the final capability of a dog to bite hard? One of them is a percentage of fast twitch muscle. Um, Fast twitch muscle delivers more force over a shorter period of time and has um, probably doesn't have as much durability as slow twitch muscle. In other words, it's going to fatigue faster. But let's put this on our list: percentage of fast twitch muscle. Second would be geometry, and I'll expound on each one of these things as I talk further. The third one would be desire, and the fourth one would be experience. Does the dog routinely have to bite into and break bones in order to get to marrow, in order to have the nutrition to sustain himself? Uh, to what extent are these four things changeable, or can they be improved somewhat? These are the primary questions to ponder as we think about uh, dogs that have a hard mouth versus dogs that don't. So, starting back at the beginning, the first one that we talked about was percentage of fast twitch muscle. Um, to a significant extent, that is dialed in whenever the father's genes are paired with the mother's genes, but not entirely. Uh, Human athletes have determined that up through a significant part of the approach to adulthood, uh, you can modify it, turn on some genes, turn off some genes based on experience. So for a human soccer player that does sprints diligently on a regular basis multiple times per week, he will only turn on some genes that will result in him having more fast twitch muscle. So if your dog as he grows up is doing more work with his mouth than just sitting around eating kibble, uh, then he will be able to turn on more fast twitch muscle. Um, to that end, one thing that I like to do is make sure that dogs have bones to chew on. It should be bones that are not cooked, not treated with this, that, and the other. Fresh bones that are not brittle. You don't want to break off sharp pieces and have them injure themselves or do damage to their intestines with sharp pieces. So, um, dogs from animals that, I'm sorry, bones from animals that are not excessively large, that are breakable, that will cause the dog to engage, to bite, break, and be rewarded with marrow. You need to put a little thought into where you get your bones. fresh bones from your butcher would be a good start. Okay, the second thing is the muscle attachment points. I think I've talked in several episodes about the analogy, which you have an 8-foot two before laying on the ground. You have a hinge on one end, and you see how much force it takes to move that sweep and arc with that two before, with the one end hinged to the ground. Sweep and arc. Say you apply force 2 feet out from the hinge, and the amount of force that it takes to sweep and arc with it is much greater than if you go out 4 feet from the hinge and sweep and arc. So that demonstrates how muscle attachment points play a huge role in the amount of force that's actually delivered at the end, in this case, the board, or in the case of a dog, at the end of the muzzle where the teeth are. So that is the least changeable variable in this 4-part equation. The third issue is innervation, or well, let's call it desire to start with. Get back to Earl's analogy. Um, so desire starts in the midbrain. Uh, the dog's instinct plays a role in that. Some experience plays a role in how much he wants to be able to bite hard in whatever activity he's involved in. But it is expressed through how well the nervous system delivers the impulse to the muscle, and that can be there can be better innervation. In other words, the network of nerves delivers the impulse, and the better that it delivers the impulse, the more it compels the muscle to fire at its greatest potential. But it starts with desire, and desire can be honed somewhat with experience. So if a dog really, really, really enjoys working a hog, then his desire is going to peak out. He's going to innervate the muscle better. So things that give your dog a body of experience that helps him fully enjoy the experience, that's going to maximize the innervation and the result that you get from desire. Um, the final thing is in which we have the greatest latitude, the greatest opportunity to make a difference, is experience. Dogs weren't meant just to lay around, eat kibble. They were meant to break bones. They would be part of their daily routine. And you will see a significant difference in a dog that gets the opportunity with fresh, healthy bones of the right dimensions at least twice a week. Um, do not cheat and throw your dog cooked bones. You'll end up lacerating an intestine because of very sharp shards of bone. Um, make sure that you make these bones available at least a couple of days a week. Let it be the primary source of nutrition, at least early in the meal. We don't need any dogs starving to death because they can't get enough nutrition out of the marrow bones. But give it to them first, let them get what they can out of it, and then provide the remaining nutrition in whatever conventional way works for you. So there's the 4 primary uh, relevant variables that apply to distinguishing between dogs that don't bite hard and dogs that do. Um, the way I, as a breeder, make a difference, the way I consistently produce hard-mouthed dogs is by paying strict attention to muscle attachment points so we have the desirable geometry, and also from the genetic end, maxing out the percentage of fast twitch muscle. Okay, hope this is beneficial to you. Hope this gives you food for thought. Good to visit with you. Have a great day.